Well, how exciting is this? So, I am preparing for the upcoming Happy Mail workshop put on by Mike Gold and Brenda Walton on May 15th. And I've had a lot of questions on about envelopes, and they have wonderful pre-work in their online course that you can check out. But I want to show you how I'm prepping because I'd like to make my own envelopes. So I'm using these templates from Paper Source. You can certainly um, purchase those. You can use them over and over again, or you can probably just do a quick Google search online to find out where can you find these for free. Now, or find templates that you can cut out for free. The reason why I like these is because I can take existing um, graphics like from magazines like this, and I can lay them over a picture and decide what I want my composition to be. They're clear so you can put together your composition. And if you're wondering how it will show up, sure, this might cut off in places or I might want to angle it a certain way. What I do is I take these and I'll fold them just like I'm going to fold my regular envelope. And then I'll take something like a Sharpie and I'll write on them because I want to see where the actual picture is going to show and what's going to be covered up by the overlapping when I glue this envelope together. So I know that on the sides, only this much is going to show. And then on the bottom, when I have my envelope folded up, this much is going to show. So when I go to put that over, again, you can use a magazine. I like to use old maps that I find. If you can't find old maps like at a thrift store or something like that, you can also get them for free at visitor centers if you're traveling around. So this way you can really see how much of your image behind is going to show up on your envelope. So that's what I'm going to be using. And you can also use existing artwork. So for instance, something that you've already created, you can decide how you want that to look. You just trace around this and cut it out. So let me show you how I'm going to use that um, using one of these really small envelopes. This is called a baby envelope. And the reason why the tab is larger on one side than the other two sides is that you can decide if you want this to be a vertical envelope or if you want it to be a horizontal envelope. So in this case, I always look at the back side. This is a great one to do because it doesn't have anything but text on the back side. And depending on if I want this to be vertical, I'm thinking this is my flap, or if I want it to be horizontal. But since it's a landscape, I'll probably keep it horizontal. And I might want to leave a little bit of room to write something here. And I like the idea of this having a nice organic line at the top, even though it will be upside down once it flips over. And if I'm working on a piece of paper that's got dark colors, I'll probably use like a white gel pen. And if it's a light colored, I might use a Sharpie. So here I'm just going to outline my envelope. And in this case, I'm not going to use this type of envelope for the Happy Mail workshop because I want to actually use something like Arches Text Wove or a watercolor paper. But in this case, I just want to show you how I'm going to use this product. Next, I'm going to take a bone folder, and on the inside, there's these little holes here, they're guides. On the inside of that, I'm just going to lightly press. And what that's going to allow me to do is create a score that will help me know where the fold is once I take this out. Okay, so I'll take that away. I'll just rip this page out of the magazine. And when I'm cutting, something to keep in mind when you're cutting is that, and I love teaching this to children that are just learning how to use their scissors, is that for the straightaways, you're going to use the full length of your scissors. But when it comes to curving, you're actually going to open your scissors as wide as you can, and you're going to move your paper as you're cutting. And then when you get to that straightaway, you're going to see that trajectory and just cut. So you're going to use the longest part of your scissors to cut. You're not going to move your paper, and you're going to open up your scissors as far as you can and move your paper and not your cutting hand. Otherwise, you get some really wonky um, curves. But this is how I teach young children how to cut. I'll ask them, "Do you know how to use scissors?" And they'll show me. I'll say, "Let me show you a trick." And if you're not great with your non-dominant hand, the one that's holding the paper, you certainly can use your dominant hand that's you're cutting scissors with or you're cutting with to do the movement. Just don't do them both at the same time. You want to keep one still and one turning. So here, do you see how I have a big long line? I'm going to open that up and I'm going to line up my scissors so that I can have a nice straight line, keeping everything as still as possible. All right. And finally, so ultimately what I'm going to do for the workshop is I am going to work a couple of different ways. I'm going to cut out some envelopes, but I'm going to use a really large size. I just found out from Brenda this morning that she recommends 5 by 7, so that gives us the most amount of real estate. I'm going to use the largest size possible, and I'm going to cut some envelopes out and have them already pasted up, and then I'm going to just cut some envelopes out, and then I'm going to have just regular watercolor paper or Arches Text Wove and do the technique all over that. And then I'm going to use, just like I did with this smaller one, then I'm going to use this template as a window to figure out the best composition, right? So I'm going to have lots of different things prepared. Now, you can't hardly see those little um, um, score marks, but they're there. And I can always have this nearby to guide me. And I can actually see the score mark on the back side as well. And so I'm going to take this, because it's a horizontal, I'm going to do the bottom first and then lay in the left and right. And then I'll just use a little glue stick to stick this together. And so you can see the back flap has that nice organic feel I was going for. And then the front side, and I could use, say, a like a white jelly roll pen to write in here if I want to. And this is just a nice size if you wanted to give someone like some money, or if you have a small business card or something you want to put in a gift card. This is a great gift card size as well. So again, you can check these out. They're available at Paper Source. I think I have like 5 or 6 of these. You'll see that I draw on all of them so that I know where is my composition window. Where do I want to put the most interesting things in my picture? And then they also sell liner templates. So if you'd like to make your envelope a little bit more sturdy, we would find, let's see, the two that go together. So this is an A2 envelope and an A2 liner. And if you don't want to go the expense of purchasing these, I like these because they're nice and sturdy. I've had these for years. If you don't want to pay any money for this, you can take an envelope that you already have and pull it apart and make your own stencil. So this is how I'm going to prep for Happy Mail. I hope to see you there. It's going to be super fun. And also know that the class is going to be um, recorded and available through the end of the year. So check out Happy Mail. It's the link is in the chat.